when two people break up and they go down the path saying that, you know what, I'm not happy because I'm not with you anymore. So I'm going to do this to you. I want you to not see what I'm going through. I want you to feel it. How much of an impact does that have, positive or negative, on the clients that you've seen, since you can speak on a personal and a professional level?
Well, that's a great question. Thank you. And unfortunately, at the very beginning of situations like that, people don't see the good side. Everything is bad. So the mental damage is huge, because we start telling ourselves stories about ourselves, that we are not enough, that we don't deserve. Then we go to the revenge. If I'm not happy, you won't be happy too. So we do everything to make this other person miserable. And but it's there is a story that hating other person and wishing them to, to be in the same pain is like wanting to poison them, but by drinking the poison by yourself. Who is really poisoned at that moment? You. So we are killing ourselves. We are poisoning with this bad thoughts ourselves. And if you have negative feelings and negative mindset for a long time, it's eventually gonna reflect in your body. So first, the depression, then there is anger, mental issues, if you only focus on this revenge. So then your body shuts down, and it's proven, the researchers, and they prove that the cancer, the heart attack. So it has a lot of negative, actually, influences on you if you go that road. But then because the change has stages. So first is denial. The second is confusion. Like, oh, I don't know what to do. And sometimes there is still this revenge, and I'm gonna show you what is pain. Yes, all this stuff. And then and here I would really encourage everyone to find a mentor, coach, counselor who will help you to go through that stage, this inner hate, inner issue, because you hate really yourself, not that other person. You hate yourself because I went through it. I hated myself that I did not have control over it. And when we don't have control, humans, come on, we always want control, then we might get really disgusting. And if you have someone who will really help you to go through this negative stage when you are in a victim, because the victim mentality, I'm a victim, everything is happening to me. So if you have the right person who mentor, that will help you to switch that point of view and see what life is actually doing for you by removing that situation, that person from your life, you can open your heart, first of all, and positive perception on your life. Like, oh my gosh, before I had to stay home because, for example, my partner was not outgoing, and I decided, when we are in relationships and we care, we very often waste the sense of our identity and become more like the other person, especially when we know that the other person wants to leave. So I will do everything for you so you stay with me. I will be attached. So, and it's not the healthy way, and eventually that person leaves anyway if they really want to leave. So then after going through this victim state, you see, wow, now I can find me. Now I can focus on what I'm going to my first question, what I really want for myself, who I can become, what kind of activities I can do that I couldn't do before. If you have kids, what you can do just with your kids, and that you didn't do before because it was maybe not healthy environment probably for all of you. So there are many opportunities. You can travel more. Yes, now it's COVID, but it doesn't mean that you're gonna quit on your dreams. So start planning. This is gonna change. Everything changes because life is change. So my job very often is first stage to help my clients overcome this negative perception and the view that they have at the moment because of the situation, and go on the other side, the better side, like, wow, now I can be me because I even don't know what's mean to be me.
And you raise a good point. As you're mentioning that, I was remembering a relationship that I had years ago, and I'll share it because what you're saying, I could have definitely used your advice back then when you mentioned what you really, really want. And I look back and I remember I was dating this person, and I had this aspiration of becoming a personal trainer. And then the person's like, "Oh, well, you can't do that because you're gonna be training women." So
Oh,
I made the same face. So for those who couldn't see her face, she made this face like, really? So so we had this conversation, and I use the word conversation loosely because it was more of her yelling and me listening. So and then she raised these points, and the reason why I bring this story to everyone listening, to you, is because you mentioned something that triggered it. How we start to change part of ourselves or lose part of ourselves to fit what that person is, even though we are not that person. And looking back, I didn't like that part of that person. But yet, because we have stardust in our eyes, we have love,
yeah.
when we walk outside, every type of animal that you see is singing some song that makes you feel good, right? You
Butterflies are
there
everywhere.
you go. Yeah, you've been there. You no longer walk, right? You're just floating through life because you're so enwrapped in your emotions. And I think that's what some of us suffer. Some of us suffer that we lose ourselves in our relationships. And then when it ends, part of the reason I think, and I'll let you comment, that we get so mad is because we're like, I gave up a part of me to be with this person. I changed things that I love about myself for this person. And
Yeah.
now what do you have? You have those, the month, the years, whatever, loss, that you weren't being you. You couldn't maybe travel because a person wasn't traveling. You couldn't go to a favorite movie because a person wasn't outgoing. You couldn't do certain things because you compromised. And I find that people who tend to compromise themselves more are the ones who actually get left behind. Do you find that to be true?
Uh, so definitely there is some truth in that. I'm not sure about that. Well, they feel that this is a perfect wording that you said. They feel left behind. But is that true? Because it's the story that they have in their mind that thought creates feelings, feelings creates habits, and habits creates our actions. So I would go back, what is the story that you feel or ever in your life felt behind? Who is in that story? When you close your eyes and you feel that feeling, who do you see? Because we sometimes we separate ourselves from people, and then we say, oh, they left us behind. But did you express that you want to be included? Oh, I'm not that person. So, well, so sometimes it's more complicated. It's more easy than we think because we make it in our mind complicated. And I see it. I have a very close friend, and he has this issue that he feels left behind by his friends. That recently he said, I don't really have friends. I said, well, did you like reach out to them? Did you ask that you want to be included? No, they should invite me. We are not mind readers. Like, come on, you have to express yourself. And it's what comes, take actions. Action, it means also telling people what you want and that you want to be included. And yes, but a lot of people feel left behind because of the stories that they are telling themselves. And the story very often is part of the experience, the past experiences. So our brain is searching, oh, it happened to you before, you felt the same. So it's true to what is happening right now. but it's not really true, but it's really hard work to go and unwire that stories and reveal, like, why do I have even that story? And we don't want to really admit, but we cause it very often by, like I said, not asking, not telling people what you want. We feel the way, but we are the cause of that. Inaction brings no action. So if you don't express your needs, they are not going to be met.